This is my presentation for the scholarship challenge. I have decided to make a paper based on an idea that changed me, and my idea is the art of forgiving. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful and challenging acts one could practice. It is not as simple as saying I forgive you, nor is it a sign of weakness. Instead, forgiveness is a deliberate choice. Forgiveness frees you from hate. Letting go takes strength and gives peace, releasing the emotional weight and resentment that comes from your hurt. The art of forgiving requires patience, empathy, and willingness to grow, not only within ourselves, but also within our relationships and those we love. As we have heard it said, quote, "We are taught to love our neighbors and hate our enemies, and it is known as a good and righteous thing, but you shall love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. If you only love those who love you, what reward do you have?" At its core, forgiving is an internal process. Many believe that forgiving is something you do for the other person, but in reality, forgiving benefits the one who grants it more. Holding on to anger can create stress, bitterness, resentment, and can prevent one from moving on from their past. When individuals forgive, they release themselves from burden of negativity. In this way, it is an act of self-healing and personal growth. It acts as a way for those to regain control over their emotions rather than being controlled by actions of someone else or past experiences. Personally, I feel like I've had many experiences with these feelings. The older I got, the more I have learned to not let these negative emotions and actions of others affect the way I perceive myself or how I want to live. Learning to use hatred and anger as a way to grow as a person is something that I feel has truly shaped who I am today. It isn't just about peace and more about growth, forgiving and understanding human nature. True strength isn't learning, but who you are beyond your hatred. Another major role of forgiving is empathy, trying to understand the way someone else feels and how certain things may affect them differently. When you try to understand the perspective, fear, or mistakes of others, it becomes easier to view them as human beings rather than your villain or enemy. While being empathetic doesn't make the situation right, it helps reduce the instinct to lash out or seek revenge from one's actions. Understanding the motive or circumstances of another can create space for meaningful conversation, healing, restoration, and trust in each other. For many, forgiveness becomes not only a personal process, but an opportunity for personal growth and relationships. This process often takes time. You must not think of it as something that can happen overnight. You must take every action, experience, relationship as a way to grow and find who you truly are. With this, forgiving is an act that takes time. People take things differently and at different speeds. Some might require a more deep reflection and emotional process before forgiving becomes possible. Depending on the person, this process can be a single action, while others it might take, a month or a year. And no matter what, these feelings are valid to each. Finally, this can go beyond a person-to-person level. It can have a wider range on society as a whole. When we learn to forgive each other, families, communities, even the nation as a whole, we can rebuild trust in each other. History is filled with many examples of peace being built, only made possible through willingness to forgive and restart. In this sense, forgiveness is not only a personal virtue, but something that can shape human unity and understanding in each other. In conclusion, forgiving is an act that requires courage, empathy, and emotional maturity. It is an idea I want to write a paper on because I feel it truly has made me who I am as a person and overall a happier, more mature person. Letting go of things that happened in the past, learning to not have enemies or hold grudges against others has brought a lot of peace to me and to my life. While it doesn't erase the past, it opens doors to a healthier and more hopeful future. And I wrote it as saying as an art because I feel like it has to be practiced, refined, and you have to pick and grow on each and every opportunity that you can. Thank you.